I've been given the easiest job here this afternoon because I've been asked to introduce Bob Walshe, and I'm sure that most of you know him so well over the years that I probably don't need to say anything. And I'm sure I don't need to tell you that Robert Daniel Walshe was born almost 94 years ago, the youngest of 3 brothers and a sister, to parents who carefully saw their family through the Great Depression. None of you will need me to tell you that Bob has had a lifelong love affair with the written word, kindled at his mother's knee and then nurtured at Sydney Boys High School. Bob's name appears as author, editor or publisher of a list of publications so long that I wouldn't bother to start to try to explain them. But I do want to make a point here that in 1989, Bob was already concerned about global warming, so he beat you. His writing has crossed almost all genres, from notes and letters to reports, commentaries, stories, plays and books. And I'm sure that I won't need to tell you about Bob's political activism, which began at Sydney University, where after his World War II military service he undertook an honours degree in history. It was there, and later through his teaching and union activities, that he honed the campaigning and community organising skills we respect so much. Bob was instrumental in the formation of the Total Environment Centre in the 1970s and Sutherland Shire Environment Centre in 1991. I won't need to tell you about Bob's unshakable belief in democracy, his love for Eureka Stockade, which led to the annual Eureka Stockade commemoration dinner, and the establishment of Shire Watch Independence, whose influence on Sutherland Shire Council gave Shire residents a glimpse, even if only briefly, of an alternative to the established political parties. 9 years ago, we were shocked when Bob was struck down by a stroke. Some naively thought that this would be the end of Bob's community involvement. But like the phoenix, he rose again in true R.D. Walshe form. He set about building yet more networks and community groups. He brought together a consultative gathering of Shire persons who had had some form of stroke, which proceeded to put together a manifesto entitled Ageing Well in Sutherland Shire. With assistance from Sutherland Shire Council, the author of the groundbreaking book The Brain That Changes Itself, Dr. Norman Deutsch, was engaged to address a huge meeting of residents in Sutherland Shire Entertainment Centre. A meeting which broke previous entertainment centre records, with over 900 people coming out on a cold and rainy night, and many having to be turned away at the door. Bob's most recent work has been as convener of First National Park, a group which is working diligently to achieve World Heritage listing for the Royal National Park. At the recent launch of the campaign video, Bob showed he still has the spark that has caused so many of us to admire and follow his leadership. Let's take a look at what he said that night.
Since 2010, we said that we would call our movement First National Park, because that's the historical reality. You might think there are national parks all over the world. Well, there aren't. There are lots of state parks and reserves and God knows what. But in 1879, a group of Sydney citizens, I don't think there were many of them, a few distinguished names. On the whole, they were simply residents of Sydney. And they said, look, Sydney's expanding very rapidly and we ought to make sure that there is a green area within the city. Now this is the critical point. Within the city, the critical area of bushland that's preserved for future generations.